Just talk to anybody that has been running a company in Nigeria for 5 years. Then you understand what it takes to run a company for 30 years.
A lot of people have this impression about IT companies that they just come and go.
There's no way you write the story of Nigerian banking, for instance, and you will not write about CWG.
Our digital journey rides on the back of CWG.
CWG as a company had the willing to invest to help grow the business, which is very important for us.
It's one company that once they set out to achieve something, they ensure they achieve it.
We're resilient people. CWG has always enjoyed good leadership.
And when people think about CWG, what comes to mind is trust.
One word,
innovative,
professionalism.
we say in spite of.
CWG is the best place to be.
I have to wear two hats when I'm in Nigeria or Ghana because my father is Nigerian and my mother is Ghanaian. I went to St. Augustine's College in Cape Coast, and I went to the University of Ghana in Legon to read agric science. When Flight Lieutenant Rawlings took power in a military coup and the students went on a rampage, the universities were closed, but I transferred to the University of Lagos in Nigeria, and that was a whole different environment. I finished from University of Lagos with a degree in computer sciences and started working in Nigeria. You know, it's a very vibrant place with a lot of energy and a lot of opportunities if you can get used to the chaos. But I won't say that the chaos is for everybody. My parents, especially my dad, just didn't understand why I wanted to leave that job to go and set up as an entrepreneur. And my fiance was equally perplexed. I would say that my earliest memories were that entrepreneurship is very hard and could be very lonely. One of our first customers was the Presidential Advisory Committee, which wanted to microfiche all the presidential speeches from time. And I partnered with Kodak to do that. So I got that opportunity. The National Administration for Food and Drug, NAFDAC, also provided an opportunity to prove ourselves. It started with the DG saying that his calculator, scientific calculator, had a problem. I'd gone to introduce ourselves, and can I do something about it? I mean, you can imagine how I felt going to look for technology business and being asked to go and fix a calculator, you know. But if you are humble on small things, big things open to you. What I realized very quickly is that if you wanted to go fast, you go alone. But if you wanted to go far, you go together. I brought in Phillip Obioha, who was the finance and operations guru. Interestingly, he had an engineering degree from Georgetown University. So he was also doing the engineering until we brought in James Agada, who was a first-class graduate from the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, to do the technology part of business. So those two people were very instrumental in us delivering what CWG is today.
We started up as a trading company before firming up a very good corporate arrangement with Dell. But because of the proliferation of PCs then, there was a need to interconnect all those systems together so that different people could collaborate with their work. And that was, well, the idea of local area networks that came to the fore. Banks were also growing then and becoming bigger and stronger banks. But most banks then offered their services on a branch level, but it was very problematic. So that was when CWG as well introduced satellite the communication services. So banks could have a true central database and offer branchless banking.
I was the founder, the CEO of Expert Edge Software, which was a company I started in 1994. In 1997, we merged with CWG. one of the very first electronic banking clients in Nigeria. We built it. This was the era when you didn't have internet. Mr. Okere comes in one day and said, James, we have to look at strategy. I don't think anybody can argue with you that you can build a software. The question is, what software are you going to build and how are you going to sell it? At the same time that CWG brought in the software side, also brought in a networking side, and they were able to offer total solutions. When we started selling Finacle, we realized that Finacle requires very big servers to run. We moved from just selling laptops and desktops to start selling big servers. CWG kept evolving from the person who is just selling to the person who is providing services. We engaged with MTN at foundation.
So when MTN came into Nigeria, they were looking for a partner, and their terms were quite stringent. There were a lot of South Africans. Of course, they had a more matured market than us. The expectations were first world, and you had to raise your game up to meet those expectations, which we did. They actually helped us to grow. And at one point in time, we're doing more than $35 million per annum from MTN alone. I think the most daring thing we did was to change the business model. We had a very fantastic business model just before the global meltdown. We had gone into ATMs in a big way. We're very successful. At one point in time, we had about 4,000 ATMs out of a possible population of 8,000 ATMs that we're looking after.
We had 2,000 ATMs on order from banks in Nigeria. And then the CBN changed the rules and said banks can no longer put ATMs off-site. And we had financed those 2,000 ATMs with a loan from a Nigerian bank.
So we are left with $10 million worth of ATMs in the warehouse.
With the interest running on them, with our capital locked down, that nearly killed the company. I remember that we're sitting at one retreat in 2009, and out of the blue, there was an announcement that the dollar had gone to 130 to a naira from 118. So we just got calls from our banks where we had dollar loans, and they said, listen, we're converting your dollar loans to naira. I mean, not 118, but 130. And by the way, the interest rate is now 20%. That's a double blow. But the good thing is that because we're very disciplined with our finances, we were not too leveraged, we were able to breathe. So what also helped was that we were able to raise $10 million from a PE company, and that was a big help in tidying up until normalcy returns.
Technology was evolving, easier and better ways of doing things like payment systems were evolving. So we took a decision that we are going to make some investments in fintech. In fact, we christened it CWG 2.0.
We had Bills and Pay for bills payment and presentment. We had SMEP for e-commerce. We had FinEdge for microfinance banks. The margins were great, but the volumes were not there. And we were not sure whether we'd stay the course. And everybody was like, Austin has gone crazy. I mean, we had our business. Why are we changing to this? It happens when the dividends of innovation are not coming quickly enough. I think if I was not a founder and if I was an employee, I probably would have been fired. The 2.0 story was a big part of our successful listing of the company.
As far back as I think 2011, we identified CWG as a great prospect for listing. It would be in the technology space. I believe it was actually the first technology company to list on the board of the exchange. It was a great thrill when they actually came to list in 2013.
We knew the stakes were high. We're a listed company now, so we started looking at doing things differently, looking at areas where we can focus on for sustainable growth. And today we are still on the stock exchange and we are doing quite well.
We've seen the spread and the growth of what we're currently doing in the financial services institution today, where we largely support over 15 to 16 banks today, from their core banking operation to other critical verticals and very important variable within the financial services space. And I think we've grown very exponentially in that space, and it's something we're very excited about.
In the past 3 years, it's been growth across all financial metrics.
and we can see that growth trajectory in revenue, in profits, in EBIT, and that will continue to grow because we see the opportunities in the markets, there are potential in the markets, and we are latching onto those potentials.
The business has transformed over the years to gain market share in Uganda and the region, mainly due to trust customers have in us, keeping our promise, ensuring we provide high-quality services, and being efficient, which are all part of the CWG core values.
I remember clearly those days how aggressive salesmen could be in CWG because there's nothing called missed targets. And I don't think that has changed also even till now. If you check most big entities and other organizations that you have in Nigeria and by extension in Sub-Saharan Africa today, you will find an ex-CWG person doing some very great thing in there. So even when people leave CWG to go to other places, they carry the same energy with them.
We have a great culture in CWG. Our people are our biggest priority. And then we seek to put the human in the human resources in CWG. We care about our people. We genuinely are interested in their well-being and their personal successes.
I worked in CWG for about 15 years. Working in a company for 15 years means it's a stable environment.
I've always been in sales. So that was the reason why Austin took interest in me. My first day in CWG, when they gave me a personal computer, I was like, what is this? How do I operate this?
James Agada was somebody that in his dictionary there is nothing impossible.
I remember at that time there was this leadership meetings we did where everybody is encouraged to take responsibility for your team. By creating leaders amongst us, a lot of us felt like we're part of the business.
Most of these people saw themselves as owners of the business or the CEOs of what they were managing.
I was privileged to work with Phillip Obioha at the later part of my work in CWG, and Phillip was a very compassionate leader. He was ready to listen to you, whatever challenges you have.
When I met with Austin Okere, he looked at me, asked me the same question, why do you want to work in an IT industry? So I was very open, and I told him, one thing I have is that I know I can convince people, and at the same time, I build relationship very fast. With that, he said, okay, let's see how it goes. We'll give you the opportunity. And I'm very sure he didn't regret it. And I also am happy I was given the opportunity because it's working for me today.
Within ourselves, we were competing. Very good competition amongst ourselves. So if you're a salesman and your colleague closes a big deal, you are like, you know what? I'm going to go out there and get my own deal.
Somebody talk about 2 million and people laugh and look around. But you ask, what are you talking about? 2 million naira, $2 million, the differences it makes, and all that is in between.
When you join, I see the caliber of people that were running the company, the vision that they had. You don't have any doubt in your mind that the company will grow to become one of the biggest IT companies in Nigeria.
And if you look around today, most of the CWG alumni, they are making waves in the industry. They are all over.
We have a well-coordinated social group of ex-CWG where they try to keep abreast of CWG's activities and also support each other.
Wherever I find myself, once I mention it, doors always open.
Our culture was customer intimacy, service excellence, a great team, a safe space for the team to operate. Give them autonomy, but let them be aligned to the vision. Let them make mistakes. That's how we learn.
I think the only thing that really did separate CWG from her peers was the investment in human capital development.
The greatest asset we have are the people.
I remember very fondly Nana Odejaye, who championed our CWG Academy. And what started it? I mean, CWG was a very good ground for people who found a safe space. They had autonomy, they had alignment, they could try things. We never punish mistakes if you made them only once. We rather learn from it. So it was a very viral poaching ground for other companies.
And over the years, CWG has actually engaged nothing less than almost 4,000 resources.
I will tell you, the founders of these organizations are people that put them anywhere. not necessarily in information technology, they will produce the same results. And I think we're fortunate at CWG to have them, for them to put together this incredible organization and for the terrific job they did, which we are riding on today.
I would say two things. First of all, the passion of the founders and the willingness of the founders to pass the baton to the next generation.
I believe we've put in systems and structures in place. There's a strong framework that will make sure that even when we're all gone, the organization will continue to run.
It's really an exciting time to work in an organization like that. That gives opportunity to everyone in the organization. As a woman, I hold one of the key positions in the organization, managing Ghana and then our businesses in other regions outside of Nigeria. And I believe the opportunity the company gives to its staff to develop and grow career is a fantastic thing.
Corporate governance in CWG is all too important. It's vital. It's essential to the way we live and we work at CWG. The company closely follows the codes of corporate governance set by the governments of Nigeria. And this has affected how we do everything, how we hold our board meetings, how we hold committee meetings on the board, and how essentially it has made the entire firm accountable to all stakeholders, not just the shareholders, but the regulators, the employees, the lenders. I would say at CWG, corporate governance is at the heart of everything that we do.
It's like a Catholic marriage, yeah? So both Infosys and CWG are partnered at the hip to make sure that we succeed. And today, we are proud to say that many of the clients, we don't even do the implementation. You know, the CWG has built their army of people who are well trained, well equipped, and they are able to cater to the customer, take them through that journey and support them successfully. What else can any partnership ask for?
They understand the ecosystem properly. The biggest banks in this region trust them, and they have been their friend and advisor over the last 30 years.
CWG as a company had the willing to invest to help grow the business, which is very important for us.
One thing that I will give CWG credit for is that they've been very flexible in terms of the deployment of their resources. They've thrown bodies at us when we needed them the most, in terms of when we were deploying the core banking. And we were able to meet the timelines we set for ourselves.
Regarding providing pension service, it mainly has to do with data of people, contributors and employers, registered employers. And so we have always over the years wanted to go with technology and digitization. And so we needed a brand name that could fit purposely into that and then give us excellent product service. And that is why we chose CWG. They are committed to ensuring that aside being involved in providing the solution, they are timely with their delivery and they want to be sure that the output is always the best.
We work with CWG because of their quick turnaround time, because of their professionalism and the talent they have in Kampala.
So the beauty about the CWG flagship product is the fact that they are market fit. They address the challenges that we have in the financial space and also even in the government space.
SMEP was brought about to fill a need when we noticed that small and medium-scale businesses have this issue when it comes to managing their business activities on a day-to-day basis. And in this way, they can make more informed business decisions and have better sustainability in their business.
Bills and Pay is a financial solutions application, or rather a financial solutions product that addresses multiple needs in one. So this is an ecosystem of solutions embedded in one product. It has the bills presentment platform, it has the API that we could easily integrate with third-party and financial services institution. We also have the one that is focused on B2C, which is the bills payment platform. So Bills and Pay is a universal solution that addresses all your payment needs in one.
Our smart metering is one of our IPs that we've developed. We've brought energy together with technology to offer our customers best-in-class technology when it comes to metering and energy.
We've been able to provide ATM as a service to our customers. So what it means is that we don't just expect our customers to buy ATMs alone. CWG has been able to provide a lot of options for customers to be able to enjoy.
Your product is as good as your support, your local support. One of the things we do very well today is that no matter the challenge, I have a team that can actually look at an issue and resolve it without even recourse to the OEM. That's as a result of the fact that we've been trained, we implemented, and then we have a very good knowledge of the local environment.
In Nigeria today, we have a very youthful population. You agree with me that we're very technology-centric, and CWG is well prepared for this age range of people. Expect so much from CWG, expect to see our products enabling you to do transactions at a click, at a go, and then just making your life easier generally.
If you're young, you're innovative and inquisitive, and tired of the way Africa is, now is the time to join CWG.
We are evolving and we move with trend. So our business model across our platform products, we are rendering to customer as a service. And that shows the kind of investment that we've done in infrastructure to be able to support a customer.
You're finding some organization where the technology and the business leader, there's some level of convergence going on within that space. And it will continue to evolve. And that's what makes it very interesting, because it sometimes becomes unpredictable.
We've seen the future, and we know that digital is what drives technology, and that is where the next big thing within the technology space will happen. We are being proactive to ensure that we provide value to our customer with our various digital product offering. We are taking that out of the core CWG to have focus and to ensure that we deliver proper value.
The fact that CWG is looking into the platform businesses, meaning that we are much ready for whatever disruption is going to happen in the tech space.
The world is moving into a highly digital world, a highly faceless world, where the only way we can understand a human being is going to be predominantly based on the data footprints that they leave. So this is a new world. So together, we are preparing for the new world.
As technology is changing, the model and the architecture of traditional banking is changing also. And together with Infosys, we are launching initiatives that we will soon unveil.
CWG has been one of those partners who have been in tune with some of the new developments that we are trying to bring to the market. And one of them is the cloud transformation that we are trying to bring to Nigeria. And this, we believe, is going to be a game changer in the market. And we are putting up a plan, a blueprint with CWG to bring cloud model into the foray.
CWG has demonstrated, their resilience, having been around for 30 years. And having been very, very useful in the technology space, in the communication space, in the power space. And as we are moving from a commodity economy to a technology and knowledge-based economy, it's good to know that CWG is at the forefront of that revolution, of that transition. And so I believe the future is very bright for CWG, and I believe that the company will reap a lot from that transition, in the nearest future.
I think, all in all, CWG believes that you adapt or die, and be sure that you've created something great of value to customers. At the end of the day, we want to leave our footprints in the sands of time. We want to build something that will outlive us. I remember when I said to people that one day CWG will be listed on the NASDAQ, they laughed and scoffed. But I said it's going to happen. Maybe not in my time as a founder, maybe not in the next CU, maybe not in the next one after that. But eventually, that is the goal.
You will always be a reflection of the society or the community where you came from. And one very important thing is, how do you give back to these communities? Nigeria, for example, we find every way to ensure that through technology, we're able to work with different entities to deliver what we consider to be our own contribution to the environment that we operate today.